Welcome back, my Lighthouse family. This week's lesson is number 41, and we're continuing with biblical relationships. Our memory verse for the wives is from Ephesians 5:22, and it says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord." For us men, Ephesians 5:25, "Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it." This week we focus on God's expectation for men as we lead our wives and families. God's design for the husband is that we are to love our wives. Let's look at Ephesians 5:25 through 33. "Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man yet hated his own flesh, yet nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of the body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband." The husband's love to his wife is compared to Christ's love for the church. And we are to lead our families governed by our love for them. Now, Paul lists the ways the husband is to love his wife, and he starts with, love the wife with a sacrificial love, giving for her, because Jesus loved the church. And what did that cause him to do for it? He gave himself to present it as a pure and spotless bride. Husbands, we're to lead our families focused on eternity in heaven. We're preparing them. We're helping them. This is our legacy. Now, this will include sacrifices of your time, your personal comfort. You're going to give and sacrifice to meet the personal needs of your wife. And in that giving, you glorify God. The husband is to love his wife with a purifying love. Consider verses 26 and 27. That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So as Christ prepares and purifies, so we ought to for our wives. And how do we do that? Pray for her. You know her needs better than anyone. Help her. How about supporting the household so she's free to attend women's conferences and retreats and be able to spend time with other good, godly women? That'll be part of the sacrifice of time. Won't be able to play golf that weekend. But how much greater to support her? Now why? Well, because does not Satan have a history of attacking the women and seeking to cause them to sin? Adam knows. So we need to pray for her and protect her. Now we're to also love our wife with a caring love. That's verses 28 and 29. "So ought men to love wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth it and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church." So how do men do that? Well, when we have a physical health problem, we nurture our bodies to health. And in the same way, we need to minister to the needs, the hurts, and the pains of our wives. The husband is to love his wife with a lasting love. That was verse 30 and 32. "For we are members of his body," meaning Christ, "of his flesh and of his bones. And for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and the two shall be one flesh." Joined, a partnership. Not one-sided. Now, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13:8 that charity or love never fails. It never ends. It doesn't stop. So love is not based on the other person. and what they're doing. It's a choice that you make. You choose to love someone, because love is an action, it's not feelings. In conclusion, your sacrifices to lead your wife in love and humility first will encourage her to give to support you and trust you to lead your family in this wonderful cycle of each trying to outgive the other. As you give, she'll want to give more. As she gives, you'll want to give more. The result will be peace and joy in your house, a positive cycle. Thank you.